to the NCAA tournament for the Jacks. They have won their conference 12 years in a row, the last 3 unbeaten in the league. They have experience in the tournament. They have experience upsetting power teams. With 5 NCAA tournament wins on their resume through the years, it is the 10-7 matchup underway.
See Oklahoma State starting in man-to-man, and this is a South Dakota State team that will set a lot of screens, but they play through that young woman, Brooklyn Meyer. And she's adept with both hands in the paint, but as you saw, a nice little step-back finish.
Alexia Smith runs the point for Oklahoma State. Your starting lineups brought to you by Capital One. Good news for the Cowgirls. Tenin Magassa, their 6'6" center, has been battling a knee injury the last few days. She is out there in the starting lineup after not running with the rest of the team through their drills and practice yesterday. Out top to Paige Meyer, a 5'6" senior from Albany, Minnesota, their career assist leader since they have made the move to Division I. They have a Division II national championship under their head coach that's still there, Aaron Johnston. Smith leaves it off for Micah Gray. The pick and roll, Magassa. And down she goes after the bucket.
South Dakota State in a man-to-man defense, and that's going to be problematic for them, is trying to stay with Magassa on that screen and roll.
Three-pointer's good from Haley Timmer, the junior out of Rapid City, South Dakota. Hoping for a rematch with a Minneapolis friend of hers, Paige Beckers, in the second round. Beckers and UConn have advanced. They were members of the All-Metro team in Minneapolis in their prep days. Matrowitz fouled on the shot, and a trip to the line coming from Maddie. Head coach at Oklahoma State, J.C. Hoyt, now in her 3rd season. Weren't at the NCAA tournament a year ago. This season, 11 wins better than they were last year, including big wins in the league over Baylor and TCU and West Virginia and K-State.
4 really good teams in the Big 12. Able to beat all of them.
Here's Annegret Assi, their senior from Estonia. They've got a couple of foreign players in their lineup. Here's the other, Magassa. Goes baseline, kicks it out the other side.
That's a go ahead.
Nice bounce there for Smith.
That's the second time Magassa has fallen down, and it's taken her quite a bit of time to get back up. You see the big knee brace on her left knee.
She had the knee Friday.
She provides so much size defensively, though. So here, she can play behind and use her length defensively.
Ryan misses a wide open look. That's a three-point shooter they can sag off of a bit at just 25%. Hurd, bothered by Brooklyn Meyer, gets the takeaway. And the push the other way, and Markowitz walks with it. There's Aaron Johnston, 25th season, 13th NCAA tournament appearance, and highlighted by the 2019 Sweet 16.
He has a very experienced team, but it still took me a little bit aback how mild-mannered he was during their practice yesterday. Not to say he wasn't demanding, but just mild-mannered. Didn't raise his voice.
No, he's been here and done that. His 627 wins at South Dakota State. Only Gino here at UConn has more wins at the same school amongst active coaches in the country. They are a throwback. Freshmen arrive on campus. Some of them are redshirted. It is all about player development. There are no transfers on this team. They stay together, they play together, and they win together in the Summit League. hoping to carry it through into the NCAA tournament.
In this day and age, that is something. South Dakota State is one of 3 teams in the entire NCAA tournament without a transfer. One of only 12 teams in the nation without a transfer on the roster.
Well, there you see here in this bracket, 10 for Arkansas State, Oklahoma State with 8 of them, including a few of their starters. UConn has the 1, and then South Dakota State, a lot of them homegrown or from the neighboring states.
The continuity like that can really help, especially this time of year, in teams that have experience in the NCAA tournament, which this team does.
Knocked loose by Hurd, and here comes Smith. And that's going to be a moving screen. Called on Praise Egarevba.
I really like watching Egarevba play. Her motor is next level. She sprints the floor. She sprints into every screen. That time her guard either didn't wait for her or she was still sprinting and therefore got the offensive foul called. But that is a hard-working young woman.
Egarevba ran with the starters yesterday in practice. We'll see how much Magassa can go.
And if Oklahoma State plays drop coverage on that on-ball screen, Meyer can take that mid-range pull-up all game long.
Hurd knocks down the 3. Out of Sapulpa, Oklahoma.
Staley Hurd is a talented young woman, and she can score from 3. She can put it on the bounce, get inside, has mid-range. She is certainly a 3-level scorer.
She had a 3-game stretch this year where she hit 13 threes in a row. And there's a 2-ball from Haley Timmer off the bounce. Smith, then a foul on the drive. Byam's first personal foul. Callie Tyson will come into the ball game, and Smith to the line. 67% on the season. Coach Hoyt says she's the engine that makes things go. In her 5th year at her 3rd school, and this her best season yet. She'll check out with Jaden Wooten coming out, a really good-looking freshman out of Overland Park, Kansas. Paige Meyer, open look from downtown. Out of bounds, last touch by Katie Vasika. There's a bright spot for San Diego State. Their 6th man is back today after missing for South Dakota State the last handful of games of the regular season. Hurd. Gray. Working it inside, Egarevba, the step through to the left, no. And a held ball. Well, Oklahoma State has some help on their side in their game preparation. We'll see what it is that the Juice Boys bring for the Pokes. There's a lot of preparation that goes into getting your team ready for the NCAA tournament. Not just the players, but the managers, the practice guys, you name it. How about the Juice Boys? Every pregame, they do a skit in the locker room to hype the team. And if you're Bills Mafia, you know what you're about to see. That is indeed a jackrabbit on the table, and they bring in the trampoline, and then it's game on. That is Max, Ash, and Braden, and they are entertaining and exhilarating, and they get the Cowgirls fired up.
I tell you what, every other manager crew in the country needs to step up their game.
Yes.
Because they've got props, they've got stuffed animals, they got it rocking. They were helping the team at practice yesterday.
That is a high bar they have set for everybody else moving forward in this tournament. But, you know, the band is here. South Dakota State's band is here. Cheerleaders are here. This is a big deal to come to a place like this. I mean, so much history here at Gamble Pavilion with the 11 women's championships, the 6 men's championships. And then if you win this game, you get to take on the Huskies and try and knock them out. Nobody has beaten UConn here in the NCAA tournament in 32 years.
1993?
93, Rebecca. I don't want to bring that up, but if you lead me to it,
I was a sophomore.
Probably around those days.
Yeah, I was part of that loss.
UConn a winner over Arkansas State in our first game today, and as impressive as we've seen through the first round of this tournament. Timmer. Everybody getting a touch. Vasika, nice spin in the lane. Former prep player of the year out of the state of South Dakota. Ooh, and then she commits the foul on Hurd, heading towards the other end.
Hurd looked like a bowling ball on that one with a, 9 split? She came down and 2 South Dakota State players just went reeling.
I should know that. I've called the National Bowling Championships.
It's like a 1-9. What is it?
Fox into the game as well. Tyson, blocked by Magassa.
Yeah, when you have a player who has this much of a size advantage as Magassa has, she can just play behind. Her defense can be behind. Look at that reach. Nice left-handed take, but just too long for Magassa.
Well, she allows them to take chances out on the perimeter to try and turn up some heat. They're going to get Tyson for a moving screen.
Oklahoma State is really focused on Meyer and trying to limit her. And as Wooten fights over the screen, just a little too much lean offensively.
Big 12 performer. And Gray steps behind the Magassa screen and hits the 3.
Yeah, you can't go under. You can't go under on a Micah Gray opportunity there. She is a terrific three-point shooter, has made 81 coming into this game. Defender goes behind. That's a mistake. You're going to have to fight over screens that involve Micah Gray.
She had 10 of those and 36 points against Chicago State. The most since 2010 at Andrea Riley. One of their all-time greats in Stillwater. Mid-range is good from Wooten.
Yeah, Jaden Wooten has the pull-up jumper. She's only 5'6", but good elevation on that shot.
Brooklyn Meyer has come back into the game. Goes to the left hand for the hook.
And that time, she used her shoulders, using the hook shot to protect her from the shot blocker. Great patience inside with her back to the basket.
Here's Paige Meyer. Brooklyn gets another touch, the face up. Quick first step, Magassa swats it. By him on the other side, no, and there's Tenen with the rebound. Gray. Took on the 3. Bynum left unattended, and Mace's got it. She's been in the starting lineup since Thanksgiving. In fact, it's the same 5 since the holiday break. A lot of consistency with this group. Their starting five have played 555 games as Jackrabbits. And for all of them, it's their third or fourth trip to the postseason.
Jaden Wooten, we talked about her ability to get to her mid-range, elevate, finish. She's feeling the juice. Juice boys are as well. And then Mesa Byam. She's been a nice inside-out combo all season long, along with Brooklyn Meyer. They assist well to one another. It's very important to give Meyer the space inside for Byam to be able to hit that mid-range jumper.
Meyer to Meyer. Brooklyn, no. Agarevba held her ground, and then right behind her is Staley Hurd, using her like a fullback for the layup.
Both great strength and quickness for Staley Hurd.
Oklahoma State almost got the pick. Wooten stepped on the baseline.
This is in real speed, transition. Staley Hurd with the ball in her hands, assesses the situation, and yeah, praise Agarevba, just did a beautiful job of running interference there, Beth.
Cleared a path for her to the bucket. There's Haley Timmer. She's got 7 here in the quarter. And the Jacks are back to even. Final minute of this first quarter. First round action here in Stores. 10-7 matchup, as tightly contested as we had anticipated. Coach AJ calls the play. Paige Meyer taken away. Wooten with the steal. Leaves it, and filling the lane is Gray. Three, no good. And that's how the first quarter will end. 17-15. Oklahoma State in front. Well, the celebration for South Dakota State and Oklahoma State, as they find out that they are coming to Stores for the NCAA tournament. That was last Sunday. The winner gets Connecticut. Earlier today, they picked up their 137th NCAA tournament win.
Like, just do the math. To win a national championship, you win 6 games in the tournament. To get to the Final Four, it's 5. Divide 137 by either of those, it's ridiculous.
It's 40 years of Gino, 23 Final Fours, 12 national championship games. And the way they played today, even though they're a 2 seed, I think a lot of folks are going to consider them one of the front runners.
Folks who know basketball will consider them one of the front runners.
Underway in this second quarter. Staley Hurd gets her feet set for 3, and it stays down.
Miscommunication defensively by South Dakota State, leaving Staley Hurd wide open in that right corner. This is a young woman who shoots over 40% from 3. That wasn't intentional.
What's remarkable, too, you see the goggles she's wearing. That is to protect her one good eye. Legally blind in the other. And an all Big 12 performer. Here she is on the drive. Pass intercepted by Mathewetz. And Paige Meyer, the pass, and her teammate wasn't expecting it.
You'll see out in transition, 2 defenders go to the basketball. Leaves her just wide open in the right corner, able to drain it.
Now, Paige Meyer has had her pocket picked a couple of times, and Aaron Johnston right there just reminding her, hey, settle down, relax, run the show. And there she is defensively forcing the turnover. They talked to us at their practice about playing through the Myers. Brooklyn with 4 points right now. Page with a couple. Page has won the last 2 Summit League Tournament MVPs. They had 3 players score 20 points in the final this year. And there's Vasika hitting the 3 out of T, South Dakota.
Nice job with the in and then out pass from Brooklyn Meyer.
Corner 3 is good, and the response from Alexia Smith.
Aaron Johnson was telling us yesterday one of his concerns was matching up in transition, and Oklahoma State has gotten some good looks in their secondary, open threes.
6 fast break points for them. Here's the Meyer-to-Meyer connection. Brooklyn spins to the right. Hard off glass. Hurd. Back out top, looking for 3. Egarevba scrapping for that rebound with Meyer.
Inside out. You love a post player who, when she gets the double team, can find her teammate open for 3, and then how about a dribble, penetrate, and kick in secondary to get a great look as well.
Largest lead of the ball game for either side here for Oklahoma State. Paige Meyer got into the defender, and the block called on Egarevba.
Jaden Wooten got caught up on a screen as Meyer was turning the corner, getting to the basket. And so much of Oklahoma State's defensive game plan that they worked on yesterday was limiting Paige Meyer. They understand how important she is to South Dakota State's success. Wooten has worked really, really hard in her minutes on the defensive end.
26 points, 9 assists in the Summit final for Paige. Don't forget, coverage of the NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Championship continues on CBS, TNT, TBS, and True TV. For more info on game times and listings, go to ncaa.com.
This is the time of year none of us have enough television sets. Or need to learn how to work like the picture-in-picture function. Yeah. You're like, it's not called picture-in-picture anymore, Rebecca.
Off of a bit of a scramble. Timmer on the drive.
And that's a typical Jackrabbits possession. Everybody touches the ball. It goes left side of the floor to right. You make the defense work over and around screens. Sometimes I think those shots by Wooten are just a little too quick. You want to make South Dakota State work on the defensive end as well. No, because, I mean, they're going to make Oklahoma State work here.
Yep. Meyer sent back out. Magassa with a few blocks here in the first half. And that's going to be a 3-second violation on the Jacks. That's all 10 in Magassa.
Good ball movement. You get screens, you get dribble penetration, switching sides of the floor, and finally an opportunity for Timmer to get a good look in the lane. That's a nice little elevation and use of the bank shot.
She leads all scorers with 9. Hurd with 8 for Oklahoma State. And now the Jackrabbits another chance to take the lead.
They've done an outstanding job on the defensive glass. No offensive boards for Oklahoma State.
Timmer.
That was such an incredible foul. She got a piece of her arm. I mean, she's been a shot blocking machine so far here in this first half, but take a look here. I mean, she just takes her arm right out of her. Well, not out of her, but away from her.
That's a foul. shot clock. And a shot clock violation. 1-point game, under 5 to go in the half. Hey, let's check out how they are fueling the run. Brought to you by Wendy's. Third straight Summit Tournament title, and they do it undefeated. 19-game win streak. That is now the hottest in the country, pending that Florida Gulf Coast outcome. They don't have a transfer, and 555 games together from their starting 5. And look at that. The winner of this one will face UConn for South Dakota State. 12 titles since 2009, the second most over that span. The Huskies with 15 in the American and the Big East.
We were talking to Aaron Johnston about that transfer nugget, and not only do they not bring transfers in, players don't leave. And he said most of our players get recruited by Power 4 programs. They came here because they want something different in the first place.
Been a lot of success in Brookings. Gray, short.
Again, terrific job on the defensive glass by the Jackrabbits.
Either side has been able to find their rhythm. Just a combined 4 for 15 here in this second quarter. Defenses have held them at bay. Paige Meyer weaves into the lane, misses from the elbow. Here comes Wooten. To the left side, Gray.
Fasika's done an outstanding job keeping the player in front of her and using her length against quickness that time, not letting anything be easy.
Meyer uses the screen, and for the second time, Tyson is going to be called for an illegal screen.
And again, sometimes that's the bigs' fault, sometimes it's the guards, because they don't allow their bigs to get set. So let's see what happens here. No, that's the bigs' fault. When you lean your hip like you're, trying to work a hula hoop,
Yeah.
that's your foul. I try to give the bigs the benefit of the doubt in those situations.
Not with the hula hoop.
No, not with the hula hoop. People still use hula hoops?
I think so. Pogo sticks, are they still around too?
It's, yeah.
Hurd, short. You can break the seal on the bucket. Working it around, everybody gets a touch. Out to Byam. Thought about the 3, gets it back inside to Meyer. And there's a shot bother for Magassa. Hurd tied up and a held ball. We'll stay at this end. Coming up at halftime, it's Degree in the studio. Juju and USC in action. Also a recap of the Huskies' dominating first-round win. Trojans so far through the first half, a little quiet offensively. And their game out in LA. What a weekend in Los Angeles with a pair of 1 seeds. UCLA has already won their first round game. That's a lot. And USC trying to win theirs.
There's a feeling that in the last 2:36 of this half, one of these teams is going to go on a little bit of a run. They help them carry momentum into the second half to break this game a little bit more open. Just both have had scoring droughts over the course of the last 4 and 5 minutes.
Turnover there. Ossie. Vinaigrette, the step back, hits the 3.
Ossie, a player who can really get going from the perimeter. Shoots 34% on the season. We haven't seen it yet in this first half, but she is a young woman who plays with a lot of flair.
Hurd, unable to track it down.
Vinaigrette Ossie here again. Defender goes behind the screen. That's dangerous to do with her, and we can't get enough of the juice, boys. Keep bringing it.
Orange juice.
That's right.
Little vitamin C for Oklahoma State. Shot clock winding down, and it's a violation courtesy of Magassa.
Meyer's got to be like, stop leaving me in jail. You give her the ball where there's a 6'6" shot blocker between her and the basket. There's just not much she can do, especially with the shot clock running down. Magassa has been outstanding. 5 blocks so far on the day.
Minute and a half to go. Is it Oklahoma State that will have the spurt? Or is it South Dakota State? Just 2 baskets this quarter for the Jacks. And only 3 for the Pokes. And there's a foul on Tenin.
And the beauty with Tenin Magassa and her ability to block shots and defend inside is Oklahoma State does not have to send any extra help. She can protect the basket all on her own, and therefore they don't have to, Oklahoma State does not have to leave any of the perimeter shooters to come inside and dig for the basketball.
Brooklyn Meyer out of Larchwood, Iowa. Last year's Player of the Year and Defender of the Year in the league. All Summit League again this season. And the final minute of the first half. First round coverage from Storrs. The winner will get UConn in the second round for a shot at the Sweet 16. Ossie keeps it and finishes.
Again, she has such a nice flair. That's a tough shot. She's going to her left side, finishing with a long, outstretched arm.
It's a 6-minute drought now for the Jackrabbits. And it will continue.
Vinaigrette Ossie, we see her coming through the lane. Shot blocker right there, extends, finishes. She's a really fun player to watch.
Cowgirls can hold for one. Ossie, open look, banks it in. Good if it goes. And Ossie with the late triple. It's the biggest lead of the afternoon for OK State.
Ossie's gone on a run of her own, including this bank shot.
Juice boys loving it. Let's get you to the studio. Kelsey? March Madness rolling on in Storrs, and you are watching Oklahoma State with a halftime lead over South Dakota State. Hurd and Ossie with 16 and a big finish to the first half. They are up 31-24. Hey everybody, Beth Mullins alongside the Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo. You talked about one team or the other getting hot those last couple of minutes. Turned out it was the Cowgirls.
Well, it started with Staley Hurd. She was consistent throughout the course of the first half, and she led the way scoring for them. She is their best player, their leading scorer, able to get it done from the perimeter on the inside. And then Vinaigrette Ossie, how about her in the last couple of minutes of that second quarter? She scored 8 straight for Oklahoma State. Outside, inside, back outside, off the glass. Just really helped them create some separation going into the half.
Tenin Magassa back in the lineup. She helped out with her 5 blocks. It was a frigid second quarter for South Dakota State, just 2 for 11. The turnovers costly. And we are now 20 minutes away. That's our game track, brought to you by Invesco QQQ. One of these teams advancing to the second round, and a date on Monday night with UConn. Paige Meyer headed the other way with it, missed the layup.
She was too worried about Hurd as a defender there. She just needed to go up strong with her left hand.
Both teams send out their same starting five, so open up this second half. Magassa, big move to the baseline.
She's really used her size so effectively, both on the defensive end and then here on the offensive as well. Nice high release on that bank.
Pull up, Mathewitz got it. That's their first basket since the 6:22 mark of the second quarter. Magassa kicks it back outside. Good box out there for Brooklyn Meyer. And here's Paige Meyer. Paige taking it to the bucket. And then a travel on Haley Timmer.
I didn't think that was a travel, but back to Magassa, just beautiful spin. And able to use the right hand because her left was kind of behind the backboard there, but her biggest impact for sure has been on the defensive end of the floor. Blocking shots, altering shots.
Pull up, 16-footer, got it.
Paige Meyer having to work so hard on both ends of the floor, and that time just wasn't able, as she fought over the screen, to contest Hurd in any way.
Oklahoma State stretching out that lead. They get a steal here. Ossie started it, Smith will finish it. And it has ballooned to double digits.
With Aaron Johnston, I know he has a really veteran team, but if he might look to call a timeout soon.
Oklahoma State's momentum to close out the second quarter continues here in the third. Byam. Long rebound, and that's going to be a foul on the Pokes.
Staley Hurd here, you see Meyer get caught on the screen just a little bit and doesn't have her hand or the explosiveness there to contest, and then the steal out for the easy two. And on that run out by Oklahoma State, 3 of the South Dakota State players did not even cross midcourt. Wondering if they're getting a little fatigued here.
Pull up is good. Paige Meyer. It'll be Meyer or Meyer likely that will try and lead them out of this. Wooten pulls up uncontested. They make sure Brooklyn Meyer gets a touch this trip. Goes to the right over the top of Magassa.
Man, that's a tough shot. That's a tough shot. We've seen her go to both right and left-handed hooks, but with Magassa there, that's tough.
Getting it over 6'6". Hurd, and a foul.
Brooklyn Meyer posts up, assesses the situation, bang, bang, turn, able to finish there. Once again, uses her left hand shoulder to protect herself on the right side. Does this look like a clean block to you on this end?
It did.
Unless there was something going on like in the lower body, but up top, man, it looked clean.
Hurd to the line, let's check it out.
That angle still looks clean to me.
Looks like ball. Hurd around and out gets the first. Sika now is checked in for the Jackrabbits. Got a smaller defender on her here to the left hand. Byam able to tip it to herself and wraps it up and in.
Beautiful job by Byam, not only to keep it alive, but then the reverse layup, protecting herself from getting blocked.
Hurd fouled on the shot, and Staley will go back to the line.
Let's take another look at Mesa Byam and what she does here. She just gets in, tips the ball, corrals it, tough finish inside. Those are the kind of plays South Dakota State's going to need to kind of bust into this lead a little bit more. Just sort of energy plays on that end of the floor.
She was a member of the All-Summit defensive team this year.
Oklahoma State, it's intriguing to me. They do not put players in when they're at the free throw.
Yeah, nobody at the line.
And like when you miss, there's always an opportunity to get that ball as an offensive board, maybe pick up a foul on the other team, but they do not fill the lane lines.
No, and they do not have an offensive rebound tonight.
They also don't fill the lane lines when they have their poorer free throw shooters on there.
Stay with the Jacks. Athletics coming back on.
Both of these schools have a nice contingent of fans, but neither of them have gone on any kind of a sustained run that's gotten them very involved.
Meyer starting to go to work now in the lane, especially without Magasi in there.
It's a little bit easier scoring over 6'3" than over 6'6".
At this end, it's been Hurd. Back to her. Hits the three.
How about that? How about that? Timmer was right there, had hands high. Hurd just assessed the situation and launched.
Vasika and fouled by Hurd.
We got the leading scorers from each team doing some work. Brooklyn Meyer inside, getting a couple more paint points, and then Hurd outside, draining the three.
Some of the highlights from this first round: South Carolina rolling, Georgia Amore over 30 for Kentucky, and just one upset so far, Oregon over Vandy. We don't count the 8-9 games, they're a push. Here is your best chance to win the title according to the ESPN analytics, and UConn and South Carolina way out ahead of the field, Rebecca.
And these are the two teams that look the best in the tail end of the season, playing the best basketball. These are the two teams, to me, that have looked best here this first weekend. Just dominant performances where things were clicking on all cylinders. Their ability to get a lot of players involved and put a ton of points on the board is going to be hard for others to match.
The other one seed, of course, UCLA won their game yesterday. USC now in control over on ABC this afternoon. Texas will be the last of the one seeds to hit the floor. They are on ESPN2 late night tonight against William and Mary.
Texas, a team that could really use to get his offensive flow going again. They struggled offensively in both their SEC semifinal game against LSU and the championship game against South Carolina. Wow.
Hurd having herself a quarter.
She is a talented, talented young woman. We talk a lot about some of the exciting sophomores that we have in the women's college game. Staley Hurd is a talent.
She's got 9 here in the third, had 8 in the first half. Oklahoma State back up by 8. Timmer been a bright spot offensively. She gets to the rim.
I've seen her a couple times get it right into the paint and then elevate, high release on her shot, get it off.
Out of Rapid City, South Dakota.
Hometown of Becky Hammond.
Yes. She was a starter a couple of years ago when they knocked off USC in the first round.
Is Hurd, I mean, assessing. She's strong going right or left. You see her there with her strength, and then Timmer navigating. That's good defense. It's just better offense. She's done that a number of times here today.
Rabbits trying to chip away. They've been down by as many as 11. Brooklyn Meyer, a third counter.
Especially when Agareva is in the game and she stands 6'3", I would continue to play through Meyer. Well, yes, here we go. Now we've got Magassa coming back into the game for defensive purposes.
Taken away by Brooklyn. Over to Page, Meyer to Meyer. Brooklyn, they set her up one more time before Tenen can get into the game. Counted and a foul. Attacking with Brooklyn Meyer.
We've seen from Brooklyn Meyer, her go-to move is the right-handed hook over her left shoulder. Well, great players have the counter. Looks like she's gonna do it again. Instead, steps through with the up and under. This is beautiful footwork and post play. Gives herself the opportunity for the and one.
14 points, 5 rebounds. And point number 15 as Magassa returns in the middle for Oklahoma State, so they get their size back to try and defend on Brooklyn. But it's back to a one-point game. Under 3 to go here in the third. The winner into the second round against UConn. Magassa going to work with a touch. All the way around to the other side, and she'll get the and one.
This is a box overload set for Oklahoma State. So you've got 4 players in a box. The goal is to get the ball into your big where there is no help side defense. She just navigates it well, uses the baseline up and under, very similar to what we saw on the other end.
Now the two sides finding their rhythm offensively here in this third quarter. Both shooting better than 55%. Push from behind and another chance at a three-point play.
This is a really nice job of dribble penetration. Just gets a step on Asi and then gets pushed in the back, finishes anyway. Mathewitz right there, another opportunity for an and one. Both these teams coming alive a little bit here in the third.
She was one of those 20-point scorers in their Summit League championship game. Richmond, a winner against Georgia Tech yesterday. That is the only win for a mid-major so far in the first round. And an offensive foul going to be called on the screen.
That's a tough one. Magassa's just trying to get out of there, and the defender trips on her leg. So watch here. Magassa just going. Actually, she was stationary, and the defender tripped on her. I think it was called because maybe her feet were wider than her shoulders. You do not want your shot blocker picking up a foul on that. That is for sure.
That's her second. And South Dakota State has its first lead since early in the first quarter. They've come all the way back from an 11-point deficit. Gray turns it over.
Mathewitz catching it inside after a back cut, tough left-handed finish off the glass. You wonder on the other end for Oklahoma State, like that last possession, Staley Hurd didn't really have a touch. Go to your best player. Let her make some decisions for you.
4 turnovers in this quarter for Oklahoma State. Timmer keeps it alive. Pagemeyer waits for the blow-by. Short on the shot, tracks it down and puts it up and in. All effort for South Dakota State. Hurd, this time she does get a touch and draws the foul.
How about Pagemeyer? She's struggled a little bit today making her shot. She knows it's short, just goes right by the defender, gets it, a little smile, head shake on the way back.
Page now with 8 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Final minute of this third quarter. The inbound to Hurd, and they're going to call the block.
I don't understand this one either. There's been some really tough calls at this end of the floor. She's stationary. Myers is stationary. The restricted area doesn't come into play anymore when it's college basketball. It only matters if it's under the basket. To me, that's a no call at all, but it certainly should not be a defensive foul on Meyer.
Instead, it's Staley Hurd back to the line.
Again, it is
now 2 for 5.
And on the second free throw, are they going to send anybody in?
No.
Like, I put 2 players in there. Just as long as they don't get offensive fouls going over the back or something, you might be able to tip a ball, keep it alive.
Could get a bounce your way.
Yes. Or just run back if it goes in, but still.
Oklahoma State now 5 of 9 at the free throw line. Timmer, nice drop off.
You can't drop off though with Magassa there. You can't drop off. You're just putting your big in a position to get a shot blocked.
Methowitz knocks it out of bounds.
So you get dribble penetration. You either got to try to hit the floater, but right here, Magassa's right there. What is your big supposed to do? The only thing she can really do is turn and find her three-point shooter out on the perimeter. But we've seen it multiple times in this game where a guard has set her big up for failure, set her big up to get her shot blocked.
Magassa trying to go to work, spins inside, count the basket and a foul.
She's done some really nice things on the offensive end of the floor. Jab, dribble, dribble, turn. Methowitz gets her hand in there. That's where the guard's just got to let it go. If you can't get a piece of the basketball, don't give up the opportunity for the and one. But really nice job by Magassa here on both ends of the floor.
Now 4 of 4 from the floor, misses the free throw. Tie ball game, they can hold it for the final shot of this third quarter. Trying to set up the shooter, Methowitz. Asi all over, goes to the left side of the lane and lays it up and in to beat the buzzer. Three-point shooter goes off the bounce instead, and they've got the lead.
Maddie Methowitz has really come alive here in the third quarter. This is how you attack a shot blocker. You get your big to seal her on the back. You use that seal finish. South Dakota State with the lead. Welcome back to Storrs, Connecticut, where South Dakota State has a 2-point lead. And what a third quarter. 28 points in the third. 20 of them have come in the paint. Mesa Byam did her thing. Brooklyn Meyer did her thing multiple times with the beautiful footwork. And Maddie Methowitz got it going as well. 28 points for the Jackrabbits in that third.
Yeah, they shot 60%. They chipped away at an 11-point deficit. And they open up this fourth quarter with a 2-point advantage. And they make the play right out of the gate here.
Haley Timmer saved that possession because Magassa had her defender completely pinned in the paint. That's where Oklahoma State was going to go with the basketball, but Timmer creates the turnover.
10 minutes to go for a spot in the second round and a date here in Stores with UConn. And a chance at the Sweet 16. Staley Hurd has been the go-to for Oklahoma State. It's been pretty well balanced for the Jacks.
Staley Hurd on that one was just trying to fight over the screen, but instead fought through the screen to get the foul called.
Egaregbo with 3 fouls is really the only player we've seen on the floor in any kind of foul situation. Meyer against Magassa with the left hand, no. Here comes Hurd the other way. Asi finds herself alone. After that big finish to the second quarter, she did not score in the third.
Oklahoma State still with 0 offensive boards. Just a great job all game long by South Dakota State of boxing out on the defensive end.
They are plus 16 on the glass. Now keeping that dribble alive.
How good has she been? Attacking, getting in the paint, and finishing here in the second half.
She now has 11, the third Jackrabbit in double digits. Gray, short. And has it. Meyer on the move. And a foul on the floor.
Afterwards, just taking it to the basket, getting her defender on her hip. As soon as she feels the defender on her hip for a second, the hesitation is perfect. Keeps the defender there, and then she can explode to the rim.
Meyer hits. We talked about their experience. We talked about the big NCAA tournament games that they've played in together over the years, and they're doing it together right now.
Paige Meyer gets the inbound, curling around, pull up, 6-point lead.
Hey, let's check out how UConn is moving on. Brought to you by United Airlines. Our first game today here in Stores, all Huskies, led by AZ Fudd, 27 points, 7 assists, 6 steals, in a rout by 65 plus as they eliminated Arkansas State. So they are in to the second round on Monday night against the winner of our matchup here. The other side is already set. Iowa and Oklahoma chalk continues.
Iowa-Oklahoma could be a really fun game to watch. That could be a lot of threes taken and made in that one.
Jackrabbits have hit 13 of their last 18 to rally from a double-digit deficit.
They've really been able to get in the paint and get much better looks.
Jackrabbits with the steal. Byam to Paige Meyer for the layup.
And how about Paige Meyer on that one? We saw her earlier in this game, missed one on the left side. It was clear she was worried about getting blocked. Not that time. She crossed in front of the defender and finished on her strong right side.
Now it's their largest lead of the game. Byam able to bother the shot by Hurd, and then a foul.
Paige Meyer, first Byam with the steal, and then here, cross in front of the defender. That's so smart. Then they don't have the angle to go in for the block. Hurd flies by, but Meyer can just go right up with her strong right hand. Is that the first offensive board, by the way, for Oklahoma State?
Yes, I think it is. You are correct. And they capitalize. Hurd got it.
She's tough. She's tough. We've seen her play so well facing the basket, making shots off the dribble. That time just powers her way inside.
Paige Meyer swatted. Magassa keeps it in play. That's as good as an outlet pass. Gray. And now Wooten going to work. Micah Gray off the bounce. Another offensive rebound and a stick back. Back-to-back conversions.
That's in a tough spot because Brooklyn Meyer has to switch on the guard, penetrating. Forces the miss, but a really good job. Oklahoma State's done a formidable job the last 2 possessions on the offensive glass.
Under 7 to go. Magassa with a tip. Defense triggering their offense. Gray, no. Wooten almost able to keep it alive.
Tenen Magassa, 6'6". She has been a problem for South Dakota State all game long. Blocking shots, and then here, just relentless effort by Gray to follow up her own miss.
It's been a struggle for her offensively, but now with 7 points. Hurd leading the way for them with 20. Magassa with her 7th block of the game. Paige-Meyer driving. Magassa went to block the shot, and nobody boxed out Brooklyn Meyer, and she's fouled.
That's the problem. When a shot blocker comes over, one of her teammates then has to drop down so that her player doesn't get an offensive board. Great job by Meyer here. Stays with it, misses, goes to the other side of the rim. Looks like a rebounding drill there for Brooklyn Meyer. Just continues to stay with it.
I thought you were about to drop the mic and drill on America right there. Side to side.
It did kind of look like a mic and drill, actually. One of the best drills still for young players.
Hey, for the 5th straight year, every NCAA Women's Championship game is on the networks of ESPN. For more information on all 90 NCAA championships, go to ncaa.com. We thought this might be a good one down the finish. The only first-round matchup of teams that ended the regular season ranked in the top 25. A 10-7 matchup. There's only been 1 upset so far in the first round. Only 1 win for a mid-major. Jacks are trying to change that. Asi, nice cross. Good box out, Brooklyn Meyer.
And also from Vasika, because Hurd was trying to come from the other side of the rim, and she kept her on her back.
Only a couple of turnovers in this second half for South Dakota State. They've taken much better care of the ball.
Let's look at some box outs here. So the ball goes up, you see Meyer boxing out, you see Vasika boxing out Hurd, and then Meyer can go pursue the basketball. South Dakota State has been terrific with that all game long.
Fundamentals. Brooklyn Meyer.
So Brooklyn Meyer a couple times has gone over that left shoulder and used the hook shot to get over the defender. This time she went around Magassa.
She's got 19. See if they can get Staley Hurd involved again. Smith, baseline J.
Great shot.
Vasika over-penetrated, the block went off her face and out of bounds. And there's Magassa again. Under 5 to go. We got a good one cooking. The 10-7 matchup here in Regional 4 Spokane. Under 5 to go. And a 2-possession game, and for the Jackrabbits, it's been Meyer and Meyer.
Coach Aaron Johnston told us coming into this game that we have to play through our 2 best players, and that's certainly been the key here in the second half for South Dakota State. Brooklyn Meyer getting it done. Paige-Meyer finding her shot. Nice inside-out combo. They've been deliberate. Mathewitz has done a nice job as well, but check this out. Meyer and Meyer with 31. Rest of the Jackrabbit team with 31.
Outscoring the Pokes in the second half, 38-25, erasing an 11-point deficit. They've led by as many as 8. And they're going to get a hold on Brooklyn Meyer trying to get around Magassa. Tenon Magassa, who is back in the middle today for Oklahoma State, has tied her career high with 8 blocks, and she was questionable coming in after suffering a knee injury in practice in the build-up to the tournament. No questions about it. And there's a triple on the inbound from Micah Gray.
That was a huge sequence because we've seen Oklahoma State a number of times come out of a timeout and try to get the ball into Magassa. That was Brooklyn Meyer's 4th foul. She has to come out of the game.
Paige Meyer will pull up. That time, she doesn't over-penetrate, pulls up and pops. Shoots over the smaller defender. Back to a one-possession game with the full-court press on.
You see 2 defenders going to Paige Meyer. Oklahoma State okay with anyone else bringing the ball up the floor.
They call it dog mode, trying to deny her. She does get it back here. Hesitation, and the layup gets the assist to Tyson. 5 assists for Paige. 6 rebounds, 14 points. Playing without Brooklyn Meyer, sitting with 4 fouls. 3 minutes to go. Sidestep 3 for Gray is short. Timmer, she'll push. Missed the layup. Gets it back, uses the screen. There's Mankiewicz. Two and a half to go. Brooklyn Meyer back to the scorer's table, ready to check in. Paige Meyer again mid-range. Staley Hurd's got it, and a foul.
Micah Gray just stepping right into the 3, able to drain it, and then Meyer to Tyson just able to go up. That one she did not put her in position to get her shot blocked, drew the shot blocker, then dropped it off.
That is the 3rd team foul on the Jacks. They have 1 to give. Oklahoma State does not. Timeouts available for both sides, and the Jackrabbits have the possession arrow. For South Dakota State, looking to try and get a second 30-win season and get into the second round of the NCAA tournament. Oklahoma State looking for their first tournament win since 2021.
The last few times we've seen a timeout or end of quarter break and Oklahoma State has had the basketball, they've looked to get the ball into Magassa. And without question, Brooklyn Meyer, with 4 fouls, that's where you're going to go.
Yeah.
If you're Oklahoma State, try to pin a 5th on her or understand that she's not going to be able to play the caliber of defense she would like, because her biggest concern right now is not getting that 5th.
She's got 19 points, 8 rebounds. 4 Jackrabbits in double digits, and 4 for Oklahoma State as well. Last year in the NCAA tournament, 1 first-round upset, 1 second-round upset. March didn't have a lot of madness. So far to start this year, only 1 upset to date, and only 1 mid-major win to date over a power conference team. Jackrabbits in position right now with 2:08 to go. Staley Hurd trying to change that. Jump ball. Goes the other way.
And how about how smart that was for Aaron Johnson? He kept Brooklyn Meyer on the bench for the defensive possession, now has her coming in for offense. And here, yeah, that's all clean. That's a really, really well defended play by Zimmer.
Double on Meyer. They want somebody else handling the basketball. It's the freshman, Vasika. Here comes a double on her. They get it across to Brooklyn Meyer in trouble, and they throw it away.
And Aaron Johnson just puts his hand up like, settle down. Well, yeah, and said that. But, you know, I'm sure his players understand too, like, he's done a great job with his timeouts. He's saying now, if you get into trouble, call a timeout. He's got 4 left.
Bird attacks and has another shot blocked. Last touch by the Jackrabbits.
Really well officiated too, because Brooklyn Meyer here stays straight up. That's a clean block. They're taking her out of the game now, going offense, defense, prevent her from getting a 5th foul.
Short on the shot, Paige Meyer's got it.
That was a great pursuit of that defensive board by Paige Meyer.
Mathewitz gives up the 3 for the 2, hangs and hits.
Mathewitz had the shot blocker coming right at her, just a head and shoulder flake, 1 dribble pull-up.
Oklahoma State's got to make some plays. Magassa offensive rebound and a foul.
Maddie Mathewitz here, pump fake. Get the shot blocker to bite, 2 dribbles, pull up, drains it. Her teammates feeling it over there on the bench. Magassa, 58% free throw shooter, so that's not a terrible foul by South Dakota State. Again, a long rebound here. Put a couple players on the line, especially because you know you're going to pick up full court pressure.
Hits the second. Here comes the press. Back to a 2-possession game. Brooklyn Meyer stays out there with the 4 fouls. They get it across. And a timeout. This time Aaron Johnson doesn't wait. He calls that timeout. With 1:01 to go, they will have to re-inbound the ball here.
This is a team yesterday that went over countless sideline, out-of-bound late game plays for a variety of situations. Of course, in women's college basketball, you can inbound it to the backcourt.
We'll reiterate the experience on this team. Of course, a coach with 25 years experience. All of their starters playing in their 3rd or 4th NCAA tournament. They've been starting together since Thanksgiving weekend this year. Tremendous amount of court time together. Will it pay off for them here late in the 1st round to get them into the 2nd round?
You have 3 timeouts, so if you cannot inbound the ball cleanly, you can use one of them here.
Trying to strike a blow for the Summit League against the Big 12. And Meyer fouled out top. That is the 5th. So 2 free throws coming, and henceforth for the Jacks. Paige Meyer is an 85% shooter.
How easy was it for them to inbound to that left corner as well?
Already today, she has set the new single-season assist record, misses the 1st. Jacks don't put anybody on the line either. She gets the 2nd. That makes it a 3-possession game. Under a minute to go. Ossie hits the 3.
Got to get it over.
Brooklyn Meyer helps him out. So poised there by Mathewitz, waited.
Ossie's had some big plays here. We saw a bunch of them at the end of the second quarter when she scored 8 in a row. Deep one, defender right there, drains it anyway, huge shot.
She just committed her 4th foul. Mathewitz hits the first. J.C. Hoyt switching things up on the free throw line, already setting up a play for the other end of the floor. 5-point game. 6. Gray. No. Mathewitz has it. And a foul on Paige Meyer. 29.6 to go. Jacks fans looking to make some free throws right here.
How about Paige Meyer throughout the course of this game? She struggled to hit shots early, but she has been so important. 7 boards, 6 assists, 15 points now.
And this is that. They are 13 of 17 at the line. So now even with this, rattles that one in. 7-point game. Hurd's got to hurry, leaves it off for Ossie. The launch, her second 3-pointer off glass in the game. And a quick timeout. Does he want to advance? Yes, he does. And a 4-point game.
I mean, Ossie and the degree of difficulty on a couple of these threes, this time just coming off, floating to her left, tough shot. Yeah, as you point out, it's her second banked 3 of the day. So now, South Dakota State advances. The last time they inbounded it from the front court, no problem at all, inbounding to the corner. We'll see here, important again, still a couple of timeouts left.
Egareva just went over to the scorer's table to check in for Oklahoma State.
She brings a little bit more versatility defensively in terms of if they're going to try to switch before the ball is inbounded to deny all of the shooters.
They can try for the steal initially because they have the possession arrow.
Number 1, get a steal. Number 1, 5-second call. Number 2, steal. Number 3, tie up, then foul.
Egareva's on the ball. Again, Mathewitz easy on the inbound. Foul there with 20 to go. .77% free throw shooter.
Continue to go offense, defense, bringing Brooklyn Meyer out of the game with her 4 fouls on the defensive end.
It's on the first. Nails them both. Hurd. Ossie looking for a clean look. Will get it. Short. Hurd's got it. The kick out. Gray for 3. No. Hurd trying to get him another possession and does.
Yeah, it's under 2, so they can go and check the possession. Call on the floor, though, Oklahoma State ball.
They will review to see who the ball went out of bounds on.
Previous play is under review for out of bounds.
It's our first review of the day.
Yes.
It's pretty good. So Hurd's crashing. That looks like it's off Vasika to me. And unlike the WNBA, where you could look to see if a foul, an uncalled foul, impacted who the ball goes out of, you cannot in women's college basketball.
Oh, look at that angle.
Ooh, does it look like?
Is that Hurd's
fingertips? The thing is it clear and conclusive to overturn?
Because the ruling on the court was off of Vasika.
I think whatever the officials had ruled on the floor would have been upheld. I don't think there's anything that's clear and conclusive here.
Review continues with the Juice Boys looking on anxiously there in the background. It's nail-biting time indeed. 7.7 to go. South Dakota State trying to lock up the second upset of the opening round and knock out Oklahoma State.
After review, call on the floor is reversed. Blue ball, clock is reset to 8.4 seconds.
So they reverse the call, and it goes to the Jackrabbits.
And keep in mind, the officials are not necessarily looking at the angles that we have. They have their own system, so they might have had a different angle than we did that was clear.
So now they got a foul right away. And I believe somebody called a timeout. Jackrabbits did. A couple of timeouts remaining for both sides as we check out today's Capital One rewarding performance. And it is Meyer and Meyer.
The difference for South Dakota State in the second half was their ability to get some points in the paint, and that started with Brooklyn Meyer. She just settled in, was able to go over her left shoulder, fancy footwork. Paige Meyer as well. The mid-range started falling for her. South Dakota State took that timeout, so they're able to advance the basketball. You got Paige Meyer in the backcourt. Look for her maybe to get a screen and a head full of steam coming into the front court for the catch.
Byam will inbound, nobody on the ball. And now they're gonna have to review this.
You say that with such enthusiasm.
Previous play is under review for out of bounds.
Call on the floor was whose ball?
South Dakota State. Yeah.
So this is the tough part, is because this is women's college basketball. The ball does go off of South Dakota State, but she gets fouled. But you cannot take the foul into consideration like you can in the WNBA. Like, there should have been a foul there. She gets pushed in the back. You see Asi's hand on the back. Like, that should have been a foul. WNBA, you could take that into consideration and keep the ball with the Jackrabbit. See, push, that's a foul. A hit on the arm, that's a foul. But you cannot take that into consideration in women's college basketball. So based on these replays, hey, there's a foul. Based on these replays, it's going to be Oklahoma State basketball.
Out of bounds, reverse this as well.
Yeah. The WNBA has the far superior rule.
Yes.
Which happens actually quite a bit when you look at when you cover both leagues.
You know what? If you can see it, you ought to be able to do something about it. So it will, let's see, it'll be Oklahoma State ball right there near mid-court.
And, you know, you don't really need to advance. You can save your timeout. You have 2 timeouts left. Or use it in advance and get a little bit better look at the 3 that you need.
Well, they're discussing something, but clearly on the replays it was off of the Jacks.
After review, call on the floor is reversed. White ball, 7.1 seconds left.
They'll keep the clock as is, 7.1.
Yeah, women's college basketball needs to look into changing that rule. It's better on the WNBA side, so just switch it to theirs.
And it looks like Oklahoma State did take a timeout.
Yeah, I mean, 7.1, they want to advance it because that's what your late game plays are drawn for, is a front court side out of bounds, not a back court side out of bounds. 7.1 seconds, you need a 3.
South Dakota State does have one timeout after that. If they do hit a 3, they can call a TO in advance.
They have fouls to give. No. Coach told us he doesn't like using the foul to give anyway.
Jack's already in the bonus. Looking for Asia on the inbound. It'll be Gray. She gets a clean look. No good. They'll try again. That one won't go. And South Dakota State will advance to the second round with the upset of Oklahoma State. And the Jackrabbits move on to face UConn on Monday night. Their second 30-win season. (74-68) your final, so advance the 10 seed into the second round. That'll do it for us here in stores. South Dakota State and Connecticut, your winners. For Rebecca Lobo, I'm Beth Mowens. After the break, we'll get you to Los Angeles for Mississippi State and Cal.